Happy Apocalypse. This is Zed Reckoning, and I am playing solo CDDA on Project Zomboid. I have a handful of mods, not too many, not too crazy. Another video, I'll go through them or I'll list them in the description. But what we're doing is going unemployed. We're going to click random traits. Whatever pops up, we are sticking with. It doesn't matter what it is. If we have point traits down here, we get lucky and we get to throw them in here and move on. We don't pick any extra negative traits to get more bonus traits. So we've got thin-skinned, underweight, asthmatic, dexterous, cook, and hiker. So if you're not familiar with the CDDA runs, I'll give you a quick run through of what traits we got RNG'd with. Thin-skinned, we get scraped. We're like running through the trees. You're gonna get scratched, and it's gonna bleed more. You're gonna have more bandage time than not if you're not careful. And that's where the bites and the infections are more likely to happen. Underweight for plus an additional 6 points. It can be negative in the beginning because trying to get rid of a heavy cold while you're underweight can be problematic. But at the same time, if you find enough food, you can just eat and eat and eat and eat and use that to keep your health up. And then eventually that underweight trait will disappear. Asthmatic, not as useful, not as harmful as thin skin in some situations. But right out the gate, it's going to hurt as you're trying to get away from the starter house as quick as you can. And that's going to slow us down. Dexterous is going to help us pick up that food really quick and also run into some of the busier sections, grab stuff that we really want and need without spending too much time there. Cooking, it's an underrated skill. Even with the 6 points that it costs to get, I mean, it's really underrated when you're running on such tight survival. This with forging, you can make a bunch of teas, add a bunch of ingredients to it that you're forging, and you can keep your happiness and your stress levels down and up, or up and down, that is. So that one's pretty useful, especially stretching what little food you do come across. And then hiker, it gives some hidden benefits that really helps when it comes to taking off from the starter house because you're running through the woods, and then you're relying on forging and trapping for part of the run. Eventually, when you get your farming, you're not really relying so much on the trapping. I like to supplement with fishing, and I just set traps on routes that I go back and forth whenever I do loot runs, and I might stay the night on one side of the trap, but eventually I'll make myself go, or eventually I will make my way back on the other side, i.e., to the base. So 1 point. Let's see what we got here: trapping, strength, forging, fitness, electrical, and cooking. Got electrical 3. So if we can get mechanic, that puts us pretty close to just being a hotwire car instead of relying on forging to find a key or random luck to find a key. So I think we've got 1 point. Trapper. And of course, we don't have mechanical because mechanical is down much further. Costs too many points. So with 1 point, which is nice because we don't have to go speed demon as the only one pointer. Good hits. We already have a bonus in foraging, cooking. I wish there was a lower level fishing. Carpentry, that could come in handy. Especially disassembling stuff and getting planks and nails right away. I've got a couple pre-built characters. This Kirsten McNutt. I promise it was part of the random. I hit random a bunch of times and that name was there and I was like, all right, I'm running with that. Jack Springington. That one I named specifically for these CDDA runs. Mac not sure, as you know, you just never sure. Then we got Lee Haywood, Haywood Easy. That one it just looked pretty. Not the naked part of it, of course, but the name just kind of rolled at that time. Then we got Daisy Dallas, which I really like Daisy Dallas just because it's easy to call her DD and move on. So the reason why I use preset names is it helps when I save these videos and create my folders and decide what to upload and how to put clips together and to keep the series together. So with that in mind, if there's one particular character or run that you're like, I'd like to see you run with that character longer, or I'd like to see that character go more with the farming or trapping, or go more with the heavy looting. If you want to see a fighter, if you want to see a survivalist, a wilderness survival, I'm open to all suggestions and comments. All right, let's see what the RNG slot machine has for us today. Well, this run. I also like running DD because, for whatever reason, which I kind of believe that part of it is. Let me pause this for a second. I, I would like if anybody can like let me know about the RNG on this because I kind of feel that as though whatever name you go with on your character, it helps with the RNG stuff because almost every time I pick her, most of the house is not on fire. There's usually good food here, a lighter of some sort, and when I get to the farmhouse, there's always tweezers up there. So a lot of times I can run her naked from here to the farmhouse, get clothing, get that glass shard out, and move on. But yeah, please do let me know if there is something with the way that you name your character, or if there's a profession or traits that you have set up. But here we go. Let's get into this. Let's go with the cheesing. Keep it paused while we see what's in here. See what I mean? There's the universal lighter. The past handful of runs, it's been full, and a can opener. I mean, the RNG luck on DD is just insane. So we're gonna take all three of those, of course. I'm gonna take the spoon because some recipes for this forging mod that I have. If we can open this up, even paused. There it goes. Kind of give you an idea of some of the mods I've got going on here. But there's one I want to pull up in particular. And of course, I'm overlooking it. called herbalist. There it is. Sometimes my dyslexia gets the best of me. So yeah, I mean, you can make coffee with it, antibiotics, and beta blockers, antidepressants. That's a really cool mod. And I forgot what I was bringing this up for, but I do like this mod and I do recommend it. With the biofuel, I would say when you install this mod, install it and activate the biofuel portion of it. If you don't like the lore of making fuel out of baking soda and vegetable oil, don't do it. However, if you disable the biofuel, it sometimes breaks this ability here where you can make antibiotics, which the issue comes from this mallopolis, which the mallopolis, the issue comes from the wild garlic. Whether you have it in your inventory or not, and forging skill up, it just doesn't let you. But that is a good mod. I like it. Oh, that's what I was getting at. Some of those recipes, like how to make honey, you need a spoon, and honey is pretty good resource, as you can make granola bars. Look at that, even a frying pan and another lighter. So I'm not too concerned about the fire at the moment, but I'm going to be, yep, there it is. I am on fire. And that's what usually happens with DD. I usually get a good run and see she's not even on fire. I bet you she barely even took a burn. All right, let's get out of here before her luck runs out. Because it does. It'll run out quick. So we're going to get out of here. Oh, left-hand burn. We can deal with that. It's when your feet are burnt, it makes this run almost impossible, which you hold shift and do the button click to the direction. She does this lunge, which is so much faster. Doesn't matter if she has that horrible limp in the beginning. I don't like to use the walk here because I like to be able to react to when they come out of the woods like that. And in some spots, just zigzagging back and forth for a minute and then going one way, that'll give you a little bit of space until they're, in the woods and they're right there in your face. Like that. That's okay, because that's not quite a jump scare for us. We're used to it. All right, we're going to use this field to get going this way. We got one right behind us. It's okay. The diagonal running is a little tricky doing the sprint run. All right, there's that lake. That means I overshot. I need to find the trail that goes back towards the farm. Anytime you get that ability to do that lunge run, you do it. The other trick to just running, you will cut your feet, but that hypothermia, that's what we're trying to beat right there. Once we get that hypothermia, move to nothing or a warming moodle, we get rid of that cold faster. Right now, we're not worried about the blood, we're not worried about the exhaustion or the pain. Plaster, that'll disappear soon. I'm still fairly new to Project Zomboid. I have about 450 hours, which most of that was playing sandbox on super easy, trying to figure out the build menus. Excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. But I jumped over to Build 42, played around on that for a while. I tried multiplayer on Build 41 for a bit. Nothing too in depth. I didn't really do any PvP. I played with a very nice individual who, oh, I was not paying attention there. That's good. We're just going to go back to the main menu and get this going again. We're keeping this video going until we get to the farmhouse and get to the next night. I'm sorry, the next morning. We'll do an assessment of our character and see if we can make it to the next checkpoint, which the next checkpoint is typically the paved road between the farmhouse and the three mansions and the lake house that's just north of where all this is going on. I'm not really good with remembering where all the little towns are exactly placed. I'm not exactly familiar with the maps altogether. Like I said, I spent most of the time loading up my character with a bunch of guns, shooting a bunch of zombies. Haven't really done the melee portion too much until recently. I'm sorry if I'm rambling. It's 12:39 a.m. and this is my first. This is going to be my first upload doing a Project Zomboid playthrough. I'm pretty excited and amped up a bit. Again, we're going to go back through solo. We're going to go back through here and random again. Cross our fingers. Of course, illiterate. So that's okay. That's okay. Depressive. We're going to need antidepressants. Good thing we have that herbalist mod. Prone to illness. That's okay because we're not really trying to get scratched or bit. So if we don't get scratched or bit, this doesn't really mean much. Especially with outdoorsmen, you don't have to worry about the weather as much. This one, I haven't played with this trait on, but I know that if we don't have a tissue, we might as well have the cold the entire time. Sloppy, unless you want to build a base and make it look really pretty and clean it up and all that kind of stuff. This one doesn't really matter. That's really a good +3. Weak back, that's going to hurt us. Because, yeah, we like to carry a lot of stuff. But we got a bonus in axe, farming. We are lucky. I don't know about all that. And journal and junkie. So, I mean, at least this right here will stack well with depressive and I believe sloppy. Because if we force them to clean, we'll force them in a depressive state, which will panic more, which will be able to run faster. Sometimes that's how you gotta think of these negative traits is how do you counter them with good traits. It's lucky we'll get better loot durability, so we won't have to go through all of our gear as quick, and we'll have a better chance of finding that Spiffo doll. And we have 0 points, so that's kind of hard. That's gonna be rough, but electrical, we can pound that out pretty quick. Axes, that would be nice for cutting wood and making spears and keeping our fire going. Fitness doesn't look too bad, but with that weak back, that's gonna counteract some of that. And the farming, at least we're not going to be losing crops right off the bat. All right, DD, let's get that lighter and the tweezers at the farmhouse. There's always hope. There's always hope. I don't know about survival past the farmhouse, but there's always hope for survival at the farmhouse. So with this, we're fighting the random generator, we're fighting the negative traits, and the extra random generator we added to that. It's canned tomato, empty mug. We always take mugs. We like our teas. That's not even. Let's see if we can run out the door. We'll do that. Lunch. Oh shit. Sorry for my language. Still working on that. Left thigh burned. Yep. Well, she gets usually lucky on stuff, but this one, not so much. 9 minutes, 45 seconds. Dead by fire. So let's see if let's go ahead and mark that 9:45 and see if there's when we come across one that's way worse. So if you ever want to play multiplayer and you're like, I just don't have anybody to play with, or you want to do a challenge map with somebody, drop a comment down below, and I will do my best to catch those. My playstyle, I don't like a bunch of mods, and that's mostly because I'm playing on a very cheap $100 refurbished desktop. So it doesn't quite have the power for a bunch of intensive mods. But these small challenge maps and the majority of the vanilla map works out pretty good. But as far as high zombie populations, this isn't going to be the channel for that for a while. Not until I can upgrade my computer and I can handle 3 times or population. All right, let's see what we're going to get in our random traits. Oh, that was reset. Wish we can use that button every time we hit random, but that's not how we play. Oh, wow. That is actually, that is the most balanced of nothing I've gotten yet. Sloppy again, not a big deal. Loud snorer. As long as we make sure we clear our area and give her like a nice wide area before we go to sleep, that's gonna attract some Zeds, but we could put up some barricades, and we do have a mod where barricades hurt zombies. Um, I didn't go into the game settings and manually change anything, so any of the mods that are running, they're running on default settings. So I think it's like 0.05 damage per second or something like that is the minimum. Anyways, that snore, not too lethal. Low sweating, that's great. We don't have to worry about finding a dish rag or a towel to keep ourselves from catching hypothermia and getting that nasty cold quicker. And we can run longer without that affecting. Yeah, I haven't played this one. Life of the party, dancers, always ready. This one might be a free 2 points because I like to do yoga and like to run through some of the true actions, I think it is, or I have to double look on the name on that. But it's where you can learn how to play music, and you can do yoga, use the bathroom, or it makes using the bathroom necessary. And yeah, anyways, so I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. But that's cool. I like that one because I just started this mod and haven't really messed with the instruments. I might not mess with that one too much while I'm streaming and uploading due to copyright, because one of the first times I picked up a flute and started playing it, it played the Harry Potter theme. I don't think that really flies very well. So here's Daisy Dallas again, good old DD. She is my RNG queen. I would have spent more time moving that table out of the way and paying more attention to what my fingers were doing. I'm pretty sure I could have sprinted past that fire without catching my thigh. But certain parts of your body, if they catch on fire, your run's just done as soon as it starts, or as quick as it starts. There's just nothing you can do about it. All right, here we go. That out. Kitchen knife. Look at that. We're gonna equip that. Take the mug. No food, but we can get around this, and I bet you there'll be a good book in there. Lane's Auto. Look at that. And a book. I like those books. Sorry for talking. Ooh. Well, that was convenient. This fire completely went out. I can get out that way. I would like to go grab that garbage bag, but I just don't. Yep, I just don't have the time for it. I first started practicing on this and kind of getting the feel for it, so it wasn't just a complete noob playing this game for you guys. I used to run to that trash can and hope to find something in the mailbox when I grabbed the trash bag, thinking, all right, if I have a trash bag, then I might be able to carry a little bit more. But that's not really the case. It's just not worth it. Trash bags are good for looting stores, like throwing a bunch of stuff into the trash bag and putting it on the floor, moving on, and like loading up like 5 or 6 trash bags. Oh, we were about to fight that one, but then I seen the other one in the background. But they're good for throwing stuff that doesn't really matter right at the moment. So you can kind of throw a bunch of stuff in a handful of trash bags and then equip them in your secondary and primary. Keep your mouse up here, so if you have to take off running, you just right click and drop, and then swing around and come back for it. If her feet got cut. Nope. All right, this is good. So yeah, again, this is my first, going to be my first official video that's going on YouTube as far as gameplay through. I hope you guys do enjoy. If you have any recommendations, any requests, I'll do my best to fulfill them. But again, like I said, my computer isn't quite the best. However, I am willing to remove or pause all my mods to accommodate. So one of the cool things, I don't know if it's a mod or a vanilla thing. You guys can let me know. But every now and then there'll be a camp of some sort around this farmhouse. One of my really good playthroughs, there was, I say playthrough, but it's really more tests. Like I don't really get as further than the 3 mansions. Once I get up to that lake house, I kind of restart so that way I can get a feel for this beginning stuff. So when I say run to the farmhouse, I've tested it a lot of times, and more times than not, this is the right answer. But back to vanilla mod. found a hunter camp right here. It was a vehicle, couple tents, and like 3 hunters and a campfire. And one of the hunters had an M16 this early. Another run, there was a survivor camp in towards the back of the farmhouse, and the loot was all right. I got backpack, I got the campfire kit, tent kit, and plenty of options for clothes. But if you could let me know if that's just a mod or if you guys see that in vanilla as well. Our foot scratched, but our health is above the thumb, which means that we can do some stomping. If her health bar is below that thumb, we're not doing any real good stomping and walking away. Let's come here first in case there's a better weapon. There's a generator, so that's good. That's usually a good sign. Metal pipe in here. We got the saw. That's industrial propane tanks, nice. But that saw, that's big because now we can do the notched wood plank trick and also make some planks, cut up some wood, do some construction, break down some stuff. We just need to come across a screwdriver and we can make ourselves a stone hammer and a stone axe to get us by. I bet you that one is not dead. So we're going to play this one smart instead of trying to go around them. We're going to open up and push. We're going to keep pushing. I don't know for a little bit. All right, we're still alive. Close that door and put on these shoes immediately. Next, we're going to rip up these socks. We can take our time at the moment. That's the thing is, don't rush. You don't have to rush. As long as that blood is, oh, we're getting close now. Now it's time to rush. We're not going to try to pull that out right now. We're going to eat some food before we try to do that. Right now, we're going to bandage and get some clothes. Once you start rushing, that's when you start making mistakes. Excuse me. Sorry about that. That's when you start making mistakes and you try to grab stuff from the Zed bodies. Oh, that one is dead. Nice. You try to grab stuff from the Zed bodies and you don't quite grab it and you end up leaving good stuff behind. That's what we try to prevent by just take our time and work our way through. There's nothing on us right now. The farmhouse is usually a safe place. All right, so we're going to go through the bottom level before we go through any doors. Onto this radio. Shut it off if it's on. Of course it's on. Free battery. If there's any weapons of use here. I think we might be able to have better insulation on that. Wrapping. Let's see if we actually need that one. Yes, we do. We're going to take that trap in one. I'm going to leave the pillow. We don't need it. Metalworking one. Nice. Do we need it though? Pretty sure we had points in metalworking. That was the other character. All right. We do need metalworking one. So that's a nice find right off the start. Find food and then sorry, give me a minute here. Recollect my thoughts. So with the metalworking, we can create some scrap armor with the trapping. That'll help us get a kick in the food. That baking tray, not backing tray. The baking tray and spoon with that mod, we can make some granola bars. Fairly easy. Nice pickles. We're just going to go and eat those now. Plastic sport. I mean, that's a spoon and a knife. I mean, a spoon and a fork. If you break it, I guess it's a knife. So what we're trying to do is get some food in us so that way we can, we're working on getting rid of that thing right there, that nasty cold moodle. This one, we're going to see that on and off plenty. This one, we're going to see it plenty. This one, anytime we see this, hit a corner, do a little sprint. Next video, I will try to give a shout out to the YouTuber that this was one of his techniques that I watched him do, and of course, why not? It was brilliant. This pot of water, that's another brilliant grab. It's already clean and full, so we'll drink from it and we'll clean ourselves and do other things from it, as well as get water from that lake and throw it in the fire for drinking water, cooking. All right, again, anytime I see these radios, I always grab them so I can pop the batteries out. Batteries are gold in the dark world, but I don't have a screwdriver, so that battery is safe from our sticky little fingers at the moment. You do the tweezers. That's why I always come here first. Check this. Get myself nice and clean. Have some clean bandages. Denim has a better heal rate or healing tick than just rip sheets. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I have no problem being wrong and corrected. Part of life. We can get rid of that groined glass with tweezers instead of our hand, and we didn't have to go to the second house hoping we'd find one in there. And we have a bandage. I didn't even see us pick up a bandage. Bandage is better than all these strips, and depending on the wound. Some of the wounds, you're better off with the strips than the bandage. See if our foot's healed. That'd be nice. And it is. I'm gonna clean up that as well. And wash ourselves. Everything we can do to get rid of any negative moodles, get positive moodles, this thing will go away quicker. That's just the mindset that I like to have. I don't know exactly the order of things, especially with some of these mods. And I like to use all the water up in the bathrooms downstairs first, and then I move to the kitchen sink so I can leave the bathroom sink or the bathroom upstairs untouched. So at night, especially if I don't have a container, at night I don't have to go out of the bedroom just to go get a drink of water or to wash up myself. And because you're not going anywhere at this point, and if you do, you're just running in pure darkness. So this is a good time to go through and use up all this water to get yourself clean. Look at that. That moodle's gone. Just focus on getting your character back to normal. Almost like if, for those of us that are of age, it's like you wake up from a hangover and you just need a good meal and a good shower, sometimes another nap, and you can tackle the day. For the younger generation, it's a little bit harder for me to relate to at the moment off the top of my head. But it'd be like going down a YouTube rabbit hole all day and all night, and then all you really need is just a power nap and a couple energy drinks, and you can tackle the world again. Soap and toothpaste. So my mod allows cologne to be a disinfectant, which is nice. We're not going to rip up that sheet just yet. We've got plenty of cloth stuff. DD likes her windows, not winders. It's my southernness coming out, sorry. DD likes her windows covered when she's sleeping or she doesn't feel as safe. And it disrupts her sleep, even on a good day. I like a pencil and a magazine. I'm gonna go ahead and rip this stuff up so that way we can carry as much of it as we can. We'll ditch some of this stuff and come back for it later. But at the moment, we want as many of these ripped items for our tools. Let's make sure that we're not ripping the stuff up when all my stuff I'm wearing is ripped up. That'd be something. Sorry, DD. Just, rip up all this nice, clean clothing with no holes. We need to change our pants. That's one we're missing. All right. We get rid of pretty much all this. So back to the multiplayer. I only play build 41 at the moment. But I do have an idea for a challenge that if anybody's interested in hosting, I would love to join and record or stream it. But I was thinking doing the spawn in the. 1 second, let me go and pause this for a second. I was thinking the skyscraper challenge, but instead of fighting your way to the bottom, the challenge is you start off with 4 to as many people as you can get on your server, and people's computers can handle it without lagging too bad. But I guess that's part of the challenge. But the main goal is you spawn on the top, and whoever can make it down out of the skyscraper at the bottom level without using the elevators or jumping off the side, you have to survive. You move on to the next challenge, which would be upping the zombie count and adding sprinters and so on. But the overall goal would be getting to the exterior doors at the bottom floor without being inflicted with a bite or the infection. So like after like 2 or 3 people make it down and that's all that makes it down, you guys all have to make it away, still survive and survive the incubation period to prove that you did not get infected while running down the stairs. That's maybe my first shout out to Bad Beaver. He is a really good YouTuber content creator. I definitely recommend, if even if you like or dislike my content, I recommend checking him out. He's very informative and entertaining to watch. All right, so I think we are in a decent condition. We don't have a watch, so timing is going to be a little off. We do have a couple books to read to pass the night. If there's any tents out there. do a quick peek outside. Since we're not worried about the cold, we can go outside and take a look. Yeah, that one other time, that survivor camp was back here in the trees. It was definitely part of the like random story chances. I like to look in here because sometimes you'll find plants in here, and if you mark it in your head, that's a good place to go back to get seeds. Just let them go through the seed process. Since it's still daylight and early, I'm gonna go ahead and double check things. Maybe move some of this to the boxes inside, so when I come back, actually, I'm gonna put it here because I don't feel like moving that. I will get to that stuff. The wrench I probably won't need for a while. Ooh, I got the soap, so I'm gonna leave the toothpaste. We got 19. We're gonna drop some of those, but grab some of them back, like a double half stack, half stack, half stack. Toss this long sleeve t-shirt in there. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. It's that negative. Oh, we don't have that one. We're just underskilled. We have 5. All right. That explains it. We can only carry 11, so it's going to be a tight run for a little bit until we get that fitness up. But we'll mark that generator, and there's some supplies in there. I don't know if I hit this corner room. I always forget this room's here until like the last minute, and there's usually a zombie waiting for me in there. Oh, oh, yes. I love granola bars. DD can't get enough of them. And a water bottle. Annotated map. Let's go and see where that is. Rosewood, nice. I like Rosewood. All right, I'm actually pretty familiar with Rosewood. For those of you not, Rosewood is it's like the how do I play starter location. You got the sorry, I'm just taking a break for giving my wrist a break for a minute here. But you've got the fire station, the police station, city hall, and then all these shops right here, which the bookstore's here, the market's here, apartments upstairs, gas station here. Forget what building that is, but you can spend a lot of time, especially in a sandbox easy mode. You can spend a lot of time just in this little area learning how to play the game, using these houses and fences to practice your fence lunging, your Zed kiting. There's another move that, another shout out to Bad Beaver, but again, he's a very skilled player. There's one move that never even occurred to me to try, of course, but as a zombie is coming through a window, if you push them at just the right moment, you lock them in an animation, which again, if you're in the right standing in the right spot, they don't move. So you can pile a few zombies in there. It just gets tricky and unmanageable if you've got three or more just piling in at the same time. 2 is tricky, 1 is doable. If there's 3 at the window and you're not used to that, don't even attempt it. Wait for 1 Zed and do the practice of practicing that timing. Yeah, Rosewood is a highly recommended spot, and this one is the school. Between the school, the bookstore, and sorry, the county courthouse, city hall place. You can get a lot of your skill books between those two and the bookstore. Sorry, the three to get a really good, comfortable start of a run. You're not going to find a VHS store to get you boosted up on that, but there are a lot of houses with shelves and stuff to find that kind of stuff. All right, so I've given my hand a nice little break here. Since we're paused, might as well take the opportunity, take a look at stuff. So when we come back for the generator, we're definitely going to come back for the scrap electronics and break down this house. Let's see. We can get rid of the pop can. We can read up some of these books, at least this book, and ditch it. We can try to get that at the halfway mark. Actually, we could pour that out since we have the water bottle. We don't have high thirst, so we're going to do that to drop some weight when we jump back in. See if I could open up my map and pause again. That was, oh no, that was just for that map. All right, we're going to take a second here. So the extra symbols mod is still new to me. As far as what is where and you like. So bear with me here for a second. Okay. That marked it that there's propane and oh yeah, that there's a generator. I almost missed generator. That is probably going to be important to remember. I think that's under household yet. I don't know if that's an RV or generator, but looks like a generator to me. Be funny if it was the RV. We're going to do another sweep of the house while it's still early. Fill up our empty mug. So we have our water bottle and empty mug. One drink from here. And finish washing anything that we need to wash. I don't know if we actually have any food. Oh yeah, we have a granola bar. We're eating it now, baby. Nom 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 nom. We can actually take our cup, add that drink mix. I think. No. I believe that's part of Sapphire, if I'm saying it right. It's part of Sapphire's mod. Oh, we could put it in the water bottle. Nice. Nice. That's going to help out a lot. That was only one packet. Okay, I'll take it. I like it. What was that? Strawberry? Bottle of watermelon juice. All right. We're going to head upstairs. After we check these two bathrooms one more time. Kind of toilet paper. See, I had a feeling that I missed something. I got excited about the tweezers, then the cleaning up. See, I would have missed the toothbrush. And with the hygiene mod, lifestyle mod, uh, keeping your teeth clean, it helps with the hygiene. We're not going to put the dirty bandage back on, but we're going to put the denim strips, clean the bandage. Bandages take priority over anything. You don't make tools unless you have plenty of bandages. You Don't wash yourself unless your bandages are clean. And we're going to go grab that toothpaste because it's not much else to do. I could spend this time reading, but I've played so much of the sandbox settings where all you do is just sit and read and watch TV. I'm pretty sure there'll be plenty of time for us to sit and read. The radio is in here. I think I left it in here. I think I might have left it in the garage. Yeah, I left it in the garage. I'll take the stuff in there. There we go. That way, if I come back to the farmhouse for the generator, and if I need it, most of the stuff that I'm going to be interested later is going to be in the garage or in the shed. Oh, what happened? Oh yeah, I have read while walking. You read slower, but you can read while walking. And my finger slipped in. She started reading. What else we drop in here? Guess we drop the paperclip for now. Keeping my toiletries because it's the end of the world and nobody likes a crusty backside, especially when running through the woods. I'd like to say it's a joke from, speaking from experience, but we'll just leave it at that. I think scrap electronics can get out of here. We've pretty much given up everything that we can sacrifice that's this far away from the lake house, cabin lake. Which I apologize in advance, but you're going to hear me call that place up there the lake cabin, the cabin lake, the 3 mansions, the 3 houses. But the area I'm talking about, many of the CDDA players are very familiar with. And if you're not familiar with it, I would recommend, well, there's 2 ways you can go about this. You can either download the active map and get familiar with where things are. I'm going to sit her on the ground, do some meditation. She's bored, of course. So first we're going to read this book. Now we're going to just randomly read stuff because the boredom reduction's 50, stress and unhappiness is 40. Magazine is 20 and 15. We're getting bored, so we're going to save the book for the heavy because she is depressed. But we want to get this one out of the way and this one out of the way real quick. That'll lighten our load a little bit. But get yourself familiar where things are. Practice getting to certain destinations. Don't worry about setting any of the sandbox setting to match any of the veteran players or any of the average players if you're learning. Turn zombies off and make cars easy to get into and set loot super abundant. Go look in containers. Make sure that when you do, even with the loot abundance way up, especially if you have mods, that stuff is showing up correctly. Like if you have your loot abundance super high and you're not finding soap, then there's something going on with the loot table. Typically, that's a mod issue. But there's always little hints and signs. Let's see what happens when we brush our teeth. Sometimes we get a freshness noodle. Yep, there it is. My minty clean and clean. Good. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit. It's cold, so I'm going to heat up first. But what we're going to do is, with this mod, I can take a bath, and the bath adds a big wellness buff. And with any positive moodles, it helps counter negative moodles, especially when you're a depressed creature like DD here. But as you get familiar with running around the map, here we go. Take a bath. No hot water. It's going to be cold, but that's okay. What's going on here? Okay, she's not ready for a bath. Let me get to the next stage here real quick so I can reclaim my thoughts. Oh. That's why we hang out in here and bring as much water as we can in here, because it's just so dark. And if by chance a zombie happened to get in, not sure if CDDA zombies will open. Oh, look at that. Just a deep wound, not a gouge or whatever. But I don't know if they can open doors. If they can, they'll open up a door and there'll be one standing right there. And you're like, well, I just need a drink of water. Go out the door and boom, you just lost your run. So we're going to put her to... Actually, she's not tired enough. Just drowsy. It won't let me sleep. No. And we're not going to rest and waste that. So we are going to... Give me a second. Sit on the ground so we reserve energy. Start with metalworking. I'm going to let it play slow for a minute and give a little bit of commentary. Let my hands take a rest. But get used to moving around the map. Driving is super, super tricky. And once you get the hang of that, if you go to a multiplayer map, you'll feel much more comfortable, because most of the people that are playing multiplayer maps, they're going to be zooming around cars, and you're going to try to keep up and crash into everything. I know. One of my first multiplayer attempts, first time ever joining a server, it had like 100-something mods. I waited for hours for all the mods to download, then update, and I finally get in and met this one player pretty quick off the start. Took me over to his base, shows me some cars. We talk for a little bit, and he wants to show me another area, but has me drive so he could do. He was watching the map or doing something, and so I'm just cruising along, not really paying attention to exactly how fast I'm going because it feels like an open road. Yeah, all of a sudden, light post. I would say it was in the center of the road, but I was driving in the center median. You know, that double yellow, or the yellow strips that we like to drive in between? Well, it's not the best place because light posts come up out of nowhere. Needless to say, head fracture is one of those kind of strict servers where if your character died, you're kind of off the server kind of thing. That was my fault for pushing myself to go onto a server like that. I should have went to a more lax server. I'm just gonna speed up through some time here. Wait till she gets super tired. All right, that very tired will work. We're gonna do yoga right now. This yoga will warm us up. It'll reduce some stress. It'll help with our depression. It'll make us a little more tired. However, there is a counter to it. This right here. The more yoga you do, the more pain she's going to feel in the this pain icon will pop up and it'll become extremely painful. Then you sleep for a little bit and then you're back up. So we're going to watch that and make sure that that doesn't get out of control while we get a little bit of warmth, a little bit of XP. See, there's the warmth. Which a lot of times when you first start doing the yoga, she'll fall and be embarrassed and won't want to get back into it. But it is very helpful. And over time, like I said, it slowly builds up these right here, which is nice. That's your fitness and sprinting. And I think nimble as well, if I'm not mistaken. And meditation helps with stress and some of those other moodles. So even if you pick smoker trait, you do some yoga and meditation, and you won't be stressing so hard for a cigarette. Or a stogie is, or yeah, rather not say it. Anyways, sleep, very tired, still not allowing us, so we are going to sit and read a book. I have no idea what time it is. We might miss our window for when I want to, for when I like to start running towards the road. Because typically, if I don't have a campfire and a tent kit and a way to make a fire, or at the very least a tent, then I don't like spending the night outside. But sometimes that's what happens if we don't get this tired moodle taken care of well enough. Let's double check. Again, we're pretty neutral on those. The other thing I forgot to add was everyone button is over time we can earn trait points, which we can use those trait points, or I'm sorry, skill points, to buy our positive traits. All these positive traits we can purchase. So when you have the trait purchase system, you try to go with as little negative traits as you can, because you can unlock the positive traits as you go. It just takes a little bit longer because you don't start off with as many. But towards the end game, you're not stuck with negative traits that you bought up just to make your beginning run that much easier. There's always trade-offs. Yeah, Sap's cooking. I wish their forging mod still worked. It was the obvious collecting, I believe it's called, where if you see a rock and you hit your forging, there's a rock there. You see a stick on the ground, you hit the forging, there's a stick there to pick up. Right, ridiculously tired, that's what we're looking for. Sometimes I like to hit certain page numbers before I just stop. We're going to speed that up a little bit. $170, that's good. Do a little bit of run, knock this cold off, and then we're going to sleep. Sometimes running directly in the corner doesn't work, but going back and forth like this, get your warmth up. Again, I forget the name of the YouTuber I seen that I owe credit for showing me this. Not really like showing me, but performing this action and me seeing it. Because it has saved me on so many of these run attempts. I think that's enough. She's just getting too hungry. Gonna sleep. Hopefully she wakes up like right around the break of day. That's really the idea time. But this pain usually wakes her up in the middle of the night. And I got the cold back. No. No. That's why. It's because of my food. As of my hunger level. But it's important to grab as much food as you can. That's the first time I've lost it and had it come back like that. Well, there's not much we can take with us, so not much that we want to take with us. Still don't have an idea what time it is. 1, 2, and that should be halfway filled. A little more than halfway, but that's okay. Let's get out of here. All right, let's see how. Oh yeah, there's a little farm area addition up here. I typically forget it's up here. Even though I've ran this thing probably like 30 or 40 times. And again, my longest run so far, I think, is like 3.5 days. During that time, he was just starving way too much, and it was eat the random berry or die. So I ate the random berry and died. All right, at least we know what time it is now. And we're a little bit warmer. Oh, it is pretty late. Jeez. Yeah, we're gonna go back to the farmhouse after we clear this area. I haven't stayed in this area. I'm pretty sure that there's a bed up here, but I have not stayed in it overnight. There should be a Zed coming out of that way right here. Maybe not. Yeah, this little shack here. I mean, you could sleep in it. There they are. You could sleep in it, but again, it's so in the open, and one of those areas I'm just not familiar with. As with the house, there's a few places that you can kind of, oh, nice, that you can get away from the Zeds as they come in. Nice scissors. Scissors are always a nice grab, so you can cut up leather. Since we have a minute of calmness, not really time, but a moment. There's 2 holes. There's 3 holes. 2 or 3. Oh, he didn't actually equip the coat. He was in the middle of it. So let's wear this and see if this is better. Oh, I was able to wear both. Nice. All right. At least we're warmer than we started when we got to the farmhouse. Hope there's some food here to help me get that cold away again. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, we're gonna rock some oven mitts to help us get through. Leave coffee kettle because we just don't have the room. All right, do I chance it? Do I spend the night in the middle of the woods? I mean, I kind of don't have a choice. I don't have any food. If I had food, I wouldn't risk it, but I don't have food. I do not have food. We're going to spend the night in the middle of the woods so we can get up to that paved road and then start making our way up to the cabin and the 3 mansions. Because at this point, if we go back to the farmhouse, we'll be safe-ish. But I used most of the water there. There's no food. Yeah, usually when you walk right up on them like that, it helps with the pushover. I take that because it's a very tiny amount of insulation, but we need all the insulation. Here comes another nice cowboy hat, but it's more than I can handle right now. And then there's a whole group of them coming up. Yep. Good call. Good call. We're just going to go ahead and flip on out of here. It's 1700. It's going to be dark. There's the paved road. So my mistake in talking. There's the paved road, and then there's the, if there's any cars here, and then there's a dirt road or a single lane paved road right through here. And if you can make it up through there without any Z's following you, then you can sleep in the middle of the woods, which it's not really sleeping as much as reading a book in the middle of the night and running around in circles hoping nothing comes out. That might have been like a doe buck, buck call, not a doe buck. That's 2 different things. At one point, she coughed, and the buck did his buck call, and it lined up just in time for the cough and the call. So it sounded like she did it. He done did it. Give a little spin every now and then, make sure nothing's right up on us. I wonder if the nasty cold has something to do with. Oh, no, again, asthmatic was the last run. That was just my carelessness that brought that back up. The coldness that, or the cold that is. Don't really have much to do about that. One of those things when you do a bunch of runs back to back, back to back, especially using random traits, it all kind of blurs. So if you're just cutting in right about here, as far as watching, welcome to the channel. I am Zed Reckoning, and this is CDDA Zombies. It is all the settings are vanilla, but there are mods. The mods have not been changed or anything, so those are all at default settings as well. This particular run, it'll most likely, well, it all depends on YouTube allowing me to actually stream live in the morning or tomorrow afternoon as of this recording. But this one might come out before my live stream. But my goal is to start a live stream first and then drop this in afterwards. So I'll be running a couple different maps at the simultaneously, not at the same exact time, of course. Here we go this way. We're just gonna find a nice clearing real quick, which is probably up there. Check our map real quick. All right, we're making decent progress and on a pretty good track. We're kind of heading up around this area, maybe over here a little bit more. But we have some farmhouses to get to first, but we're definitely staying the night here. A little bit of an open area. I have to run. I've got some running space. Don't have a way to make a campfire yet. We're going to go with something a little risky. We're going to drop stuff that we don't necessarily need right off the start. We don't need all of those. We're going to take half. Keep on us in case we need to run. What we're doing, oh, it's a pot of water that's got us. Overweight quite a bit. That's okay, because that's what we brought this pot of water for, is to clean ourselves up. I think we can place it on the ground and use it as sink. I know we can do it with the bucket. Yep, here we go. We're going to use up this water, get ourselves clean. So, yeah, I'll be running a few different characters. this one is kind of my official start. My live stream, as soon as YouTube unlocks my ability to do that, that'll be my official first live stream, and that one will be on a different character than this one right here. But if you want to pick up on Daisy Dallas with the probably the most balanced equal start or balanced easy start, as not really easy but most balanced start as far as negative traits and positive traits go, like really don't have one that is like oh yes and one that's like oh no. It's all pretty even, but I'll be running her as this profile, and then I'll probably run one of my other preset characters for my live stream. It kind of helps me keep track of who likes what content. Like if you guys enjoy some of the stuff I'm doing with DD and I'm getting more response on her, I might adapt more of that type of play style. Or like if Act Not Sure is selected, if you're like, I really like that one because it's more the exciting challenges, then I'll lean a little more that way as well. But I was really aiming for keeping things easy for everybody to be able to request what they like, and easy for me to pick up on that. Nothing like reading in the dark. But as usual, I like to use this time to not so much fast forward, but it's a good time to stretch out my arms, stretch out the legs, get a drink. Pray that Zed doesn't walk up on me while I'm doing this. Which I know I could walk around and read, but we have high exertion. Thought I heard a Zed. I am wrong. They're not going to worry about this nasty cold at the moment because we've got some bandages. We're almost to the second checkpoint, which is another set of farmhouses. And there's usually enough up there that you can find enough food to knock this cold off again. At least we'll have our metalworking red and we can ditch this book, so we'll lose a little bit more weight. Place that weight with some of these bandages in my cooking pot. 8. There we go. Big carrot book. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and speed it up. I've got my little stretch out. All right, we've got our metalworking red. We're gonna go and pause it so we can get that out of our inventory. Bring our cooking pot, our book, and our toiletries, and the stuff that we care about. And with this cooking pot, we're just gonna go ahead and pour it on the ground. We've got plenty of water. We need the space. Since it's so dark, we're going to do some yoga to warm up. Can't really see what's going on here, but that's the risk we are going to take. After her yoga session, we are going to change that bandage. Maybe she's still doing yoga. Yep. I can kind of see a little outline. There we go. I gotta get. Oh, she was still doing yoga. We lost the XP, but we warmed up. We're not tired enough to sleep on the ground. We're gonna try to meditate before she gets too bored. Meditate will help with the mood. So if you're still with me this far into the play, I appreciate it. And I would like some of your feedback. Like, do you prefer all this kind of stuff being fast forward? Like, I can speed through all of this kind of stuff and even clip the videos and remove some of this dead stuff and speed up the running like a lot of the other YouTubers on this particular content does. Or just play naturally and kind of speed up time as I go, but not all the time. Like, give me some insight. Still new to the streaming and the content creation. And any input is always appreciated. I heard the bling. That means she's done. She's ridiculously tired. She should sleep on the ground now. Yeah, she's not tired enough. Alright, we're losing way too much on the hunger moodle. Alright, we're gonna risk it. It's 1 o'clock. We're gonna start moving to the woods. A little darkness. But that cold keeps hitting. We need to get her a little bit more tired. So let's try running in circles first. Get her ridiculously tired so she'll sleep on the floor. Because we're outside and a lot of these negative moodles are on us. Shouldn't sleep too deep in. Means that by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we should be up and moving towards our destination. I do more yoga, but she's in way too much pain and it won't go well. Add some sleeping tablets or beer. That'd be ideal. Not quite there yet. So I have decided that after this run tonight, and by tonight I mean tonight my time, it is like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna just post this one raw, let you guys get a feel for my commentary, and have some more room for notes. I'm playing this game as much for me as much for you. Like, there's a lot of things that I know that we're going to learn from each other. And definitely, if you're new to Project Zomboid, give a shout out down in the comments. If you have any questions or need any tips, the comment section is a good place to ask them. And as long as you don't spam it, if you want to promote your server, feel free to. I really love community, especially gaming community. The non-toxic kind. All right, we're gonna run towards our destination. Just as I said that, she got ridiculously tired. There it is. Sleep on the ground. Get up at 9 a.m. I should have set an alarm. Oh, only a couple hours. That's not good. All right, we're just gonna move towards our destination and hope for the best. Oh, so tired. Oh yeah, we can amputate our arm in this with my mods. Or one of the things that happened was I poured out all my water and now I'm thirsty. One bad decision at a time, right? Wait, why is this not being drank? There's no auto drink. Okay, okay. We got some food and we got some water. That helps 10 hunger. I only want to drink a little bit at a time though. All right, looks like we're drinking it all. I mean, that's in reality, that is the way that you handle these survival situations. Don't sip on your water. It's a waste of energy. If you're in the middle of the desert and you have a bottle of water, you can conserve a little bit of it, but at some point you're just gonna have to guzzle it and move on. Don't baby sip it until it's gone. It just doesn't work that way. So I guess since there's nothing really to look at, I can't really speed through this area because I got to be a little cautious. Take another nap as I'm talking about being cautious. But this will be, I don't really care for the whole subscribe now. Don't forget to click the like and the share and tell your friend. But since there's really nothing going on, there it is. And I'm not bashing on the ones that do. I'm bashing on the ones that overdo it. All right, 6 o'clock. We're not far from where we want to be. We're losing a little bit of health. We'll get there. We're going to let her get really, really, really tired. Because we don't want to fall in the loop where we just sleep every 2 hours, get up, move, sleep for 2 hours, move. That's a death sentence. So we're just going to push on. When we get near our next location, that's when we'll take a nap and hope that we don't get walked up upon. So because I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm sick, I'm in pain, I'm cold, and all these negative boodles, my encumbrance is going to go up and down. Well, it's just going to go down. I don't have anything to bring it up. I do have some clean bandages and some time to rest. We're going to use rib sheets on that, save the denim for our groin. Really hope that's not just going to keep dropping, which it might because I'm sick. I've got a cold. Yeah, if we go to sleep now, we're done. We're donesies. The only thing that's going to keep us alive is running. Warm up and hopefully get that hypothermia moodled off. Because the killer isn't hypothermia. It's not starvation. It's not ridiculously tired. It's not that we have a nasty cold. Severe injuries, pain, overweight, and a slight wind chill, and now we're overexerted. It's not any of those that kill you. It's the combination of all of those that kill you, or any of them. All right, so this was the checkpoint road I was talking about earlier. It's the single lane. Sometimes there's cars or a car around there. I don't think we're going to make it to our next point. No, we're losing blood. It's not stopping. So in a desperate measure, we're going to hit the focus for anything. We find anything, we're going to eat it. This doesn't matter. Yep, we're ticking away. Of course, there's the chipstone that I'm always looking for. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the inventory just so I can say I found one. We find a bush of berries that are not poisonous, we might be able to afloat this, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So this has been a fun run, and I hope you guys enjoyed my first live stream. And again, I'm going to throw this one up unedited, just completely raw, and let you guys kind of decide a little more of the direction and commentary. If you want things sped up a little faster, I can speed things up. If you like the slow, just kind of cruise around speed, I got you there too. Wait a minute, what's going on? Are you really going to leave me with a sliver of health? just a sliver. So if I scratch my arm, I'm going to die. If I stub my toe, I'm done. Wow, yeah, look at that. I was ready to eat any berry that was available just to start getting my health up. That one sliver. All right, let's see what we can do with this one tiny little sliver. Here's the power lines. We've got a little bit of a clear path, so we don't have to worry about cutting ourselves, maybe. I just gotta look at that again. One little sliver. Like that's not even 10%. That's gotta be like 1% or like less than 1%, and the game's just keeping me alive because it's cruel. So definitely before we enter any type of combat, we're gonna be tired. We're gonna switch over to the knife because we're just gonna risk the durability of the knife for a cleaner kill. Hopefully, we can sneak up on them and get that sneak one-shot kill. Which, if you played the tutorial, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go play the tutorial. Clear spot. We should be getting pretty close to our destination. So here's a new challenge. See if you can get your health to a sliver without dying and then recover from that. You don't have to stack all these moodles, negative moodles on yourself. But if you can get to just a little slither of health in a low loot game, then I'm pretty sure that alone right there should build some confidence that you just don't give up. There's always hope for survival. Don't believe the title screen. That right there, there's always hope. In dry mouth. How many negative moodles can we have or accumulate with our little sliver of health before it just says, yeah, you're done? Is it going to be as soon as I try to kill a Zed? Like that's what it's waiting for. It's giving me all this hope for as soon as I find that one Zed standing by itself, I'm going to sneak up on it. I'm going to cough. It's going to turn around. I'm going to push them, and that's going to be the end of me. It's 9:30, and I just coughed. Let's see if we can time the coughs. I don't think so. That was, at least for in-game, it was too close. Anybody's got a stopwatch. Twice every 10 minutes in game? I do have my settings. Excuse me for a minute. I do have my settings at 2 hours equals one in game, 24 hours. But again, that's with Sandbox. I'm not familiar completely with CDDA. If that's the default or if that's something that we're able to change. And not by going through like Notepad and manually editing it. Give it 1 second here. All right. And to double check, make sure we're still recording. Gotta be close. See the fences. See where we are on the map. Always good to do a big wide view before you look at the map because it kind of opens up these edges, which there could be something sitting right there and you wouldn't have known it unless you did that large scan. And with the fog, I don't think it matters. Oh, here we go. I can't change that bandage. If I take that bandage off, we're done. 2 days, 1 hour. I want to run so bad, but I think, we're going to run. I feel as though if we run, it was just going to essentially kill us. We got this. We got this. We've come back from worse. I'm sure. At some point, maybe. Okay, stop. I completely bypassed the houses that I usually go to first. There are some other farmhouses. But sometimes there's a gaggle of Zeds around these ones. And I'm not really in a good position to handle that. I would crouch and sneak, but I just don't think it really matters. Coughing twice every 10 minutes. Oh, that did open. What do you got? Some bourbon. We are going to drink all or half. We're going to drink half first. All right. Actually, there's a key, but no battery. Oh, does this work? Please tell me it works, even with the dead battery. This works with the dead battery. That is a Zomboid life hack right there. But I don't think it is. They're still negative. It would have started moving by now, I'm sure. More bourbon, nice. Duct tape. I would love to take it, but we're just too weak right now. Let's see what's in the trunk. Tote bag. Not really useful that much for us. So sitting in the car did help with some warmth control. We had a lighter, we would definitely be getting that going. All right, let's see if we can sneak up without anything seeing us in there. Don't want to go inside. I know for sure the house is clear. I'm probably wasting time here. I just can't handle a Zed inside. Thank you for no alarm. Oh, something easy to open. Oh! Oh! Wow. It wasn't waiting for me to push a zombie. It was waiting for me to find food. And went, haha. All right, well, I think that was a nice landing for our first YouTube upload video. Wow, I need a minute because wow. 2 days, 2 hours. That little sliver of health all the way up to the backyard. I should have scanned the backyard. If I would have came right in the front door and went straight for the food, I would have been all right. And that I not overshot the farmhouses, I'm sure there would have been some kind of food there. Wow. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and end on that note. That one little sliver of health. Yeah, there was no hope for survival. It was just hope for timing of a better death. Yeah, I'm still just at a loss of words. But that's CDDA for you. That's gonna wrap up this recording. Yet I will be doing mostly live recordings. Not too sure exactly what time I will be starting, and the goal is to do about a 2.5 hour streaming session. If I'm getting good feedback from the audience, then of course I'll play longer. But till next time, stay alive and survive through one bad decision at a time. This is Zed Reckoning signing off.